Hello, you beautiful actors. I'm really excited about this show. This is my very good, well, I'm Michelle Tomlinson, first of all. Hi. And this is my very good friend and colleague, Monica Garcia. We are both acting coaches, acting teachers, filmmakers. Monica's a writer. I am not a writer. I'm like the what if girl. Monica's like the execution of writing and making it awesome woman. And we've come together to experience each other and discuss all things acting and just be of service to you to answer any questions that you all may have, even though this is a recorded versus a live video. We're going to have future episodes that are live, and then you all can participate and ask the questions that you need answered. Hi, Monica.
Hi. Thank you,
I'm
Michelle,
so
for doing
happy.
the
Thank
intro.
you. Thank you for creating this show, Monica.
Oh, my pleasure. I've been thinking about it for a while, and the only person that I thought that I would really, really want to do this with would be you, Michelle Tomlinson. You know, you have great energy. I know your clients love you. I know you have a passion for the work of acting, uh, to be in front of the camera, to coach people. I think you get as happy booking a job as you do your clients booking a job. And that's really, really important that you have a coach, a teacher that is just as happy for you as they are for themselves. It's super important.
Yeah,
Um, you know?
yeah, yeah. And I mean, sister, all things right back at you. And I think that's one of the many reasons that we have always gotten along forever. A little tiny backstory of
Uh-oh.
Monica Garcia and myself.
Uh-oh.
We met taking scene study about 467 million years ago, and we just got along so well. And she also started teaching before I did, and so I learned a lot from her. And she's somebody who has just been a touchstone for me for a really long time. For 400, what did I? 467 million years. Was that right?
Más o
Give
menos.
or take. Yeah, yeah. Um, and so when you first asked me about joining forces with you for this, I was a little uh, shocked and really honored and really excited because you're right. I do love it when I see my actors booking jobs or when they
Hmm.
have that like aha moment in the middle of a session, where you go, oh man, they are about to like pop out now. Like this is so exciting. I am really passionate about it because we've all been there to where we may have worked with people in the past that didn't really fuel that in us.
Right.
And I really just want to, as far as teaching and coaching is concerned, really want to focus on empowerment, for actors, which is, I mean, this is why we
Yeah,
speak the same language, same actors speak.
exactly.
And
For
so,
an actor to feel empowered, that they can go on set and be in a film or on a TV show and come with their choices and their own opinion and not look to the director for like, tell me what to do. I want them to contribute and feel. I mean, it can be intimidating. You're sitting at a table reading, you're looking around the table and you're seeing all of these huge stars, and you can feel like, what am I doing here? Like, oh my God, like, am I good enough? Like, all the actor
mm-hmm,
panic and fear can set in. And when
mm-hmm,
you can help your student understand how they need to empower themselves to sit there and go, no, I've earned my spot at this table. I've earned my spot in this show. And not I've directed some things, and I've had actors just looking at me like, just tell me what to do. And I'm like, I hired you because you already should know
because
what to do.
you did the thing at the audition,
Yeah, yeah. But
you know.
so the more people can understand, actors can understand how I need to show up on set to not feel panicked or worried when, once they say action, you're racing, like, to get out of self and be in the work. And just, you said it, empower themselves. Yeah.
It's really, it's an important part of my mission. And when we first started talking about this, it really started thinking like, what is my personal mission with acting, with teaching and coaching actors? And I'd never really thought deeply on it because it was something that just inherently, organically comes out of me.
Mm-hmm.
It's love. It's love for the craft. It's love for the journey. It's love for the students, the other actors, for the industry, for everything. And I started thinking, well, if it's coming from a place of love, like, what am I really like? What is the mission behind all of this? And that's when I realized, I was like, God, Tomlinson, it's totally empowerment.
Mm-hmm.
There's things I've had students who have come to me and they're like phenomenal actors and they're not booking. What's
Mm-hmm.
that thing? What's that thing? What's that thing? And so I would go down this like list of it's almost like a checklist if you go to a doctor, of what's going on in your approach to the actual audition to get you on set. And sometimes it's really just tweaking a couple tiny little things, and suddenly that person is a series regular, or suddenly that person has started booking like 50 million short films and really kickstarted their career. Whatever that part of the journey is for them, sometimes it is literally just like a tiny little tweak and they're off to the races.
Yep.
And it's just really inspiring. It's
It
an
is.
inspiring
It
gig.
is. Yeah. And it's, I've had that happen so many times. And I think of one specifically, a friend of ours, Landell. He came to me about a little something. But it was just a little something. And he booked 5 shows back to back right after that.
That's the Goolsby. Yeah. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, it is that one little tweak. And what's so great is, you have your style and approach and I have mine. And that's what's so great, is I think people should not just stay with one teacher all the time. They need to, once you find the teacher that really resonates with you, or the coach that like speaks your language or has the right energy for you. But I think it's so important to find the teachers out there that are there for you, that have your best interest in mind, that don't have a really nice car and 2 houses that they need to pay for. So they get the students to come in and stay there because they have their own motives. Actors we're teachers, but we're also working actresses. So, sometimes we can put too much trust into somebody telling us what to do. And that's why I think it's important for you and I to say, empower yourself. Think about, is that right? Is that something I want to do? Would my character do that? Would my character wear that or say that? And so you're so empowered to go, yeah, but what if we did it this way? Or, sometimes you just say, yeah, okay. And then you do it your way.
Yeah, okay, thanks.
Yeah. Yeah. And then they go, oh, brilliant. And they think it was their idea. But to find the coach and the teacher that wants nothing but your best interest for you to succeed, for you to go and work. Don't stay here forever. Learn what you need to learn.
Although we love you.
And go and look. Yeah, of course.
But the gig is to, watch growth. And there's a lot of actors who will continue studying while they're booking, or, in between gigs or whatever, go back to class. There's this one guy who's actually not my client, but I directed him in a project. And he is that type of actor. This kid is in classes 5 days a week, acting classes 5 days a week, coaches for every single audition, and then coaches for every single booking. And this dude books like lead roles back to back, starring roles back to back, feature films just consistently. And it's that thirst, it's the hunger, whatever word you want to put on it, and it's the voracious appetite for for the work. And so how fast an actor excels also depends on what the actor wants. What
Yeah.
are the goals? And part of our gig, my gig, your gig, is to help shape them based on their vision, business sense,
Yes.
acting sense, all of these
Mhm.
things, and it all falls under the umbrella of empowering. And something I get really excited about with you, Monica, is that we're both pretty strong women in
Mhm.
an industry that tends to polarize women. Like we should be against each other for some whatever reason. We are going to compete, and we cannot be these two actresses or these two filmmakers or these two acting coaches working together because, my God, the planet might fold into itself. And so it's really exciting that we also get to be an example of strong women rising together versus some weird competition thing, if
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Yeah. I, you know, I see all these different women in my life and how they work hard, and anytime I can uh, say, "Hey, there's this thing going on." And I have another actress friend who invited me to an audition for a showcase, and so we were both at the callback. And at the end, I got it, and I was like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry you invited me to this." I go, "I bet you regret inviting me." She goes, "No, because if I didn't get
No,
it, I want you to get it." And
that's it.
that's
Yeah.
the kind of women that I want to, be around. Is like, if I don't get it, I want you to get it. If this client doesn't uh, gel with me, I want them to go with you. I want, I know
Yeah.
somebody like, anytime somebody's interested in a child actor coach, I know the person, and I know you teach a lot of kids,
I
and
do. I do. It's a
yeah.
really broad spectrum of age. Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, I
Yeah.
haven't really. I say no to kids. I always send them to you because
Oh, they're
um,
so much fun though,
I
dude. They
know
are
the thing
so
is, I
much fun.
love kids. I don't know what it is with acting and kids. I just like, I don't do it. I don't know. I
Oh,
love
they're
kids
great.
so much,
They're great.
but
No, you're great with kids. But no, they're a lot of fun, dude, because they still have that like wonderment in them of exploring that's different from a grown-up. And it's not to say kids are better, they're easier or whatever. It's just they have a specific wonderment that speaks to my consistent wonderment. I find myself always, you know, in a place of wonderment because I'm such a curious human.
mm,
I love looking at the stars. I love, looking at a leaf and pondering the existence of creation. I'm always in this state of wonderment. And I think that might be the key element that ties me together with a lot of kids because they still have that little thing in them. They haven't hit 18, 20, 40, 60, 70. They haven't hit these different ages where life experience can sometimes take some of the wonderment away,
yeah,
unfortunately.
yeah, for sure. So, Michelle, if a mother came to you and said, "How do I find the right coach or class for my student?" and they didn't know you were an acting coach, what would the overall advice be for you to find the right coach or class for an adult or a student, a young kid?
Well, if you know anybody that's already an actor and they can kind of give referrals of like, oh, hey, I worked with Monica before, she's great, or whatever, or Michelle, or, whomever, that is helpful because then you have somebody kind of tagging their name, putting their name in the pot with that teacher or coach. If you don't know any of those people, the internet is a wonderful thing. Google. And I know it sounds so broad and so lame, but I do think there's a lot to be said about vetting who you're wanting to work with or who you could possibly work with. What are they putting out online? Are they putting out fire starting political differences on their Instagram, and it's going to be somebody you may or may not gel with in that aspect, and suddenly there's this weird energy when you try to work together. Are they putting out toxic misinformation? Look at their IMDb if they have one. They should. I mean, I would not want to take an acting class with anybody who's not on IMDb personally, because then that tells me they're not connected to the industry in a specific way. Doesn't have to be 983 credits, but make sure you're taking from somebody who actually knows the business side of acting. So anyway, checking their IMDb, checking Instagram, checking personal sites. There's all these hashtags of like acting teachers, acting coach, kids classes, all these different hashtags that are used on Instagram. And Instagram's such a hot place to look for things that you can actually seek out different hashtags that people use.
Yep.
And investigate that way also. And you might find I have friends in common with blah, 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 blah. And okay, let's see if they know them. I've had people that, was it a sound person? It was kind of recent. They were like, hey, I noticed we both know, did you work with this person? What was it like? And asking me a bunch of questions. And I was like, whoa, this is excellent. Way to vet who you're about to hire for a job,
Right.
checking your mutual connections.
Mm-hmm. I had a young lady that she came in with her mother. She was in her 20s, and her mother came in with her. They were auditing different acting classes, and they sat in on my class one time. And afterward, they came in my office, and the mother drilled me. She asked me all these questions.
Yeah.
And after all was said and done, all the classes that they audited and interviewed, she chose me. The mom chose me, so her daughter could study with me. And I thought that was so cool. Like, the mom, even though the daughter was older, she still was like, I am not going to let some acting teacher destroy my kid with negativity or misinformation or anything like that. And I thought that was so cool. And the girl was so embarrassed. She's like, Mom, she's like, the only way she'll let me move out here is if she approves of my teachers.
Oh my God, that mom, whoever that mom is, should actually write about that, or do a thing, because it's vital. When I first moved to LA, I took at first I was really fortunate to meet Carolyn Berry and fall into some phenomenal classes taught by the most one of the strongest women I've ever met in my life, and I also took a short string of really unfortunate scene study classes in which there was this man who stood up and he was like, listen, you guys have to get your payments in on time. I pay my rent. How do you pay your rent? How would you feel? I mean, and he went on this magnificent rage. And there was 7 of us in this class, and he raged at us that he wasn't paying his bills. The whole thing got really uncomfortable, and so I bounced, because that's what one does. But there are people who stay because they'll take on it's like their responsibility suddenly to empower their teacher. Oh gosh.
Yeah, scary.
Yeah. That's really beautiful, though, about the 20-something. I think a lot of parents being proactive like that and asking a lot of really pointed questions.
Yeah,
is a great.
I loved it. The mother came out and I was like, "Oh, good, let's go!"
Yes,
I have nothing to hide. Anything goes.
Yes.
What do you want to know? And when you have somebody excited to answer the questions and they're trying to pick a teacher. I'm going to be really honest because this is how I am. And, maybe I'm not the right teacher. And I think it's just important for me to say, maybe I'm not the right teacher for you, And it for no other reason other than I honestly don't think that maybe our energies match. And I'm not able to support an actor in the way that I feel maybe they're telling me they want support. I don't do that, or I'm not comfortable with that, or that's not really something I do. And, you should it's like dating, right? Allow the person to go be with the person
Totally.
they're supposed to be with. Because I'm not.
Right. And energy is a really big piece of that. Having a connection with your clients is so vital because then, and I mean a healthy connection, because so then you know how to better serve that person.
Right.
You know, you understand how to speak with them, you understand how to relate to them, how to get them the information in a way that they're going to be able to assimilate it for themselves. Energy is a massive component.
So energy,
You know?
this is why we were trying to come up with a name, right? Like this is our
Yeah.
first show together. Like and
Yeah.
I just was like, we're both kind of like energetically woo woo. Is that what you're doing? Yeah, we could be a little hippy dippy woo woo, whatever you want to call it. I always like meditate before I teach because I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't want my ego or my stuff or me to get in the way. I always meditate that whatever the student needs to hear that I say,
Yeah.
so I do meditate every time before I teach, and I have my little things that I do. And so I thought, Michelle and I, what are we going to call ourselves? Like cosmic coaches. And I'm like, but that really doesn't have anything to do with acting. Cosmic acting coaches. It's like, I don't
Cosmic
know.
acting coaches? Yeah, we'll get there.
Yeah.
It's out of this world though.
So
So out of
maybe
this world,
the
it's
audience
cosmic.
can give some advice of some names for us, but be nice about it. I know we talked about glowy. I don't know if glowy bitches would, be able to be hashtagged and like, but glowy gals, that's corny. I don't know. We'll come up with a name. How did we
Yeah,
come up with that, Michelle? You said it. I said
I
glowy, and then you said
did. Yeah, I did.
glowy bitches.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't remember how, but it just, I was like, oh yeah, this is totally, I mean, not it at all, but totally it. Glowy bitches. Why not? Maybe not the best name, but it was definitely entertaining. And I think I snort giggled as we started going on with it the other day.
So what's another thing, Michelle? When people don't even know how to get started in acting, like brand new, and they want to get headshots and they want to look for an agent, like they want to start working right away, and they don't know anything about the business or acting or anything. What is your advice for brand new people that want to get into acting?
Find a teacher. Find a teacher first. Because when we just hop into, like, if we look at all these like biographies on the IMDb or all of like the famous humans of the Instagram or whatever, and we go, oh, I'm just going to do that. There's a whole huge process to that. So you're going to want to find somebody who can start you out with training first before you ever progress even to in getting any headshots. Because what will happen is that you end up spending a stupendous amount of money on what you think are headshots. And there's a magical difference between a really good photographer and a headshot photographer. There's people who are phenomenal with like lifestyle photos or portraits or whatever, but they are not the best headshot photographers. So you can actually spend thousands of dollars before the day is done and not be able to use any of the materials you were trying to create to start your business. So you absolutely have to start with somebody training first, start getting an understanding of what is this industry that I'm so excited about or so inspired by, and really start digging into what this is about and where this is for you before the headshots and the whatever, like
Yeah.
any kind of demo reel shoots or red carpet walks or whatever your thing is. Save your money and start with training first. Boom.
How do you slow down actors that are brand new? They found you. They're starting to train, but they want to work right away. They want to start auditioning. How do you slow people down without squashing them
Yeah.
or making them like
Yeah.
say like, you're not ready, like that. Like,
Oh,
how do you, all of that, like, how do you maneuver holding people, pulling the reins a little before you let them fly?
well, there's a really important question that I like to ask, and it really is, what do you want?
Hmm.
Well, I just want to act. Okay, no, cool. I get that.
Hmm.
But what do you want?
Right.
And if they say, I don't know, Supernatural was my favorite show, so, it's gone, it's over, I get that. But if they were to say, oh, well, CW 1 hour episodics, like, I just love the Supernaturals and blah, 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 blah. Okay, how are you going to get on that show? Or how do you envision getting seen by CW's casting directors? Like, what does that look like for you? And
Hmm.
so it's almost kind of the same way that you would help somebody kind of almost through an anxiety attack. You know what I mean? Of like stopping and going, okay, well, what are the steps, and how what's your vision on moving forward?
Hmm.
And when we stop and think about it, when we're new in acting, we go, oh, I don't know what the steps are actually. Okay,
Hmm.
so let's formulate a plan. Let's get a strategy. Let's build this together using your vision, my knowledge, and let's start to mold the direction that you're wanting to steer in, and then you can start working those steps and get to a more strategic place than like showing up at somebody's doorstep with a Polaroid in your hand, calling it a headshot, for example. Like
Yeah.
really, stop and think. Stop, think, strategize. When we rush into something, it's like driving a car and running the red lights, hoping to God you don't get in a car wreck.
Hmm.
Chances are you're going to at least cause a car wreck if you're just blasting through all the red lights. And I feel that with the film industry, with what we're doing, we got to stop and check ourselves and ask us, where's our arrow pointed?
Hmm.
And what are the steps I take? And how do I take them? And how do I move forward? And at the same time, how do I work through some of the blocks that show up so lovingly?
Yeah.
Those fun, super exciting blocks that, like, hey girl, I bet you didn't know I was here. Uh, how do I get through those also?
Or you
Because there's
thought
a
I
lot
was
of things.
gone.
Yeah, you thought you dealt with me, but guess what?
Yeah.
You started a
I'm
journey as an
bigger
actor,
now.
so I'm back and I'm bigger than ever. So it's always asking questions. I ask a lot of questions with my clients,
Yeah.
to help them stop and think, because stopping and like preaching and this is what you need to do, gross.
Right.
You know,
So they have the
what do you
plan.
do?
So they have the plan, right? But
Yeah,
they're really green. They
yeah,
have the plan and they know how to implement the plan, they think, but then they're really not at the level that you want to really be seen at. But you want to work so badly that you can't see that, and you don't know what you don't know, right? So
correct.
people,
It all
when you're
starts with
first,
training.
it all starts with training, and I think what people don't realize a lot of the time is all of the same people do all of the shows. Like, all the casting directors do these shows, and all the directors, it's all the same people that are working. It's very rare where you're going to go, you know I'm never going to see this director again or this casting director again.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't
Mm-hmm.
realize that casting directors, once they really like you, they don't even send an audition out to the public in the breakdown. They call you in because they have lists in their office. And if you go in and you're not really up to par to be on television, or you're still so green, that you're nervous and you're getting in the way, or you have to know, you have to be completely prepared to go in there. And because I always say, you're not going in for that audition, you're going in for the thing that you're right for. So you want to go in
Right,
and do your work, and they go, oh my God, she's great. She's
right.
not right for this part, but she would be
But
so
we'll
good
bring
for
her
the next.
back.
Yes.
Yep.
And
Yeah,
so
that
all of
really.
these things,
Yeah.
that what I say, you don't know because you just don't know yet. Um, and it's, it is about having the conversation. Well, how do you feel? And right now I have new students that have never been in the classroom setting. So, and they're brand new. And so
Yep.
they don't even know how they would be nervous in front of their classmates because they're comfortable in the living room at home by themselves.
Yes, and
You
all the
know?
self tapes. We get 65 takes on a, self tape at home. Oh, I didn't like that one. My hair was messed up. Oh, I didn't like that one. I had a funny look on my face. Oh, I didn't like blah blah blah. And there's, and coming back around to live auditions because they've sprinkled in here and there. They're going to continue. You get one shot
Yeah.
when it's live, or the live EcoCast, or the whatever. You get one shot. And so part of the strategy is self-submissions, submitting yourself for everything: student films, infomercials, commercials, music videos, although those are the longest days ever. As short films, indie films, you start submitting yourself, on all of these indie things, so that you start to understand your audition while training. You don't just coldly jump in and do this, because you can, but it's going to be a rougher road for you. But when you start training with somebody and start understanding, what does it mean to break down a script? What does it mean to live in the character? What does all this stuff mean, and where is it for me? And submitting yourself so that you just start auditioning once the headshots and but you start auditioning, so that when the plan starts to kind of work out, and when that strategy starts to come into play more, and you do start getting an agent or a manager who does actually get you in front of David Rappaport or somebody, then you've already been warmed up. You've been booking all these other, indie projects. It doesn't matter if it's a student film. It doesn't matter if it's a non-union commercial that pays you $20. It doesn't matter. What matters is building the credits, building your resume, and getting the relationships with other working people in the industry. Because, like you said, Mon, we do circulate. We do get to know a lot of people, and you start building. And then you start going, oh, look, oh my God, I have an audition for David Rappaport next week. And knowing that you're, more prepared for it than if you would have just randomly gotten that audition,
Right. Because there's that training to build a character, to know the arc of the character, to know, you don't always shoot in sequence. So where are you at? All of this stuff, right? We could talk for hours about the work of acting. But then you go into a working setting, and then there's the technical part of working, of eye lines and you can't move, like all of the technical stuff. So the more you can, and all of that being said, is why it is so important to find a teacher that you can trust to help navigate the waters of your career, especially in the beginning. That you have a teacher that you can go to, that takes the time for you, that will help guide you, and has actual knowledge of working in the business and being in front of the camera, that has practical, real, true to life guidance for you, advice for you to help you navigate that. And the teacher that you trust, that has your best interest in mind. And that's why I asked you, Michelle, to do this with me, because you have integrity and you want those things for your students as well.
Well, sister, that's why I agreed to this, because we're just always on the same page with that. That is just how we both roll. So thank you.
Cool. Yep. Thank you. So we're going to do this hopefully on a weekly basis. We'll see how it goes. We're looking for a name for the two of us. Glowy coaches. Who knows? We'll come up with something. Come up with topics each week. If you guys have any questions, anything that you want to know, burning desires, or about the work, about class, about whatever it is, put them in the comments and we will respond. Okay.
Maybe we'll respond.
Maybe Michelle.
We could be there.
Yeah. We'll have our assistants answer them.
Hope will be over here.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much, Michelle. This has been
Thank you,
great, and I
Monica.
really look forward to more of these and helping people along the way.
Absolutely. Thank you.
All right. See ya.
See ya.